Jean Viken's friends and family remember her as a loving mother of 4 young kids, a devoted daughter and sister. But nearly 4 years after her murder, a dark cloud hangs over Jean's memory as they continue to search for answers.
We were having a birthday party for her because all of her friends wanted to get together like we would have done if she was here.
Almost 5 months after Jane Hempel reported her sister Jean Viken missing, family and friends gathered to celebrate her birthday, hoping to feel some semblance of normalcy in the wake of a horrific nightmare.
And we all just got to Happy Joe's when I received the call to come to the sheriff's department. And then we were told that they had found her body, that they were pretty sure it was hers.
It was the call Jane had needed to hear all this time.
I mean, we were so scared. We couldn't figure out why we couldn't find her.
But never wanted to have to listen to. Her younger sister's body had been found by 2 fishermen, a victim of a brutal murder.
Evidence we found at the scene indicated that she had been shot at least 2, if not 4 times by a .357 revolver. She had then been transported from the scene. Her body was left at a rural location in Sawyer County, and the vehicle was left at a different location.
A web of clues scattered throughout the North Woods. To Detective Steve Bowers, it spelled out one clear message.
It leads to the fact that this was not a random person that did this.
It was a grave realization that began to haunt family and friends. Police believe someone Jean knew had murdered her. Coming up tonight at 10, detectives pieced together the final hours before Jean Viken disappeared as they worked to narrow in on her killer.
We've been to forensics laboratories in Missouri and Minnesota, as well as all 3 of the crime labs in Wisconsin, testing DNA, testing firearms, testing fibers.
In the months after Jean Viken's disappearance, detectives with the Taylor County Sheriff's Department say they exhausted all their resources.
I've never had a case since I've been working here where we've used this many resources on a single case.
The unanswered questions and unsolved case have taken their toll on Jean's sister, Jane Hempel.
And I would have never expected to be sitting here almost 4 years later and the killer's walking the street either. That just tears my heart out.
An emotional roller coaster Jane's had to ride since January 30th, 2008.
Dwayne had the children and was supposed to return them to her.
Jean was in the middle of a divorce with her husband, Dwayne Viken. Her 4 young children had been at their father's house when she disappeared.
According to Dwayne, he'd been calling her and she hadn't been answering the phone. Instead of notifying law enforcement, Dwayne called her sister.
That was the 2nd day in a row that school was canceled. Always the night before she was going to get the kids back, she cooked the food for the whole rest of the week.
The sister, Jane, went out to the house, found a pot on the stove with food in it still cooking, found the lights on. Jean's purse, cell phone, keys, everything were still at the house, and she was nowhere to be found.
I knew right away when we were at the house something bad had happened because it was her son. She only had the 1 boy, and it was his golden birthday. And we have been planning for weeks his golden birthday party that weekend.
But just as mysterious as the events seemed on the day Jean disappeared, the reason and person behind her murder has yet to be known. With no witnesses to directly link anyone to the crime, the county has never charged anyone, and the case remains as cold as the day Jean went missing.
You always hope. There's always hope. That's like I always hope there's going to be arrests in this murder case. I just don't see how there can't be. I don't see why there hasn't been already either, though, with everything that's happened. But yeah, without hope, you got nothing. You got to hold on to that as long as you can.
I reached out to Jean's estranged husband, Dwayne Viken, who first noticed she wasn't picking up her phone, but he declined to comment on her case. Authorities say just one tip could help in making an arrest. If you have any information, please call the Taylor County Sheriff's Department at 715-748-2200.